Hey, just from a single character photo you provide, I can create a whole series of photos or even lively videos of that character, all with complete consistency. And guess what? I can do the same for multiple characters too. If you're curious about how to make this happen completely for free, then congrats! You're in luck! Hello everyone, I'm Sotai. Following up on our previous videos about Flux, today I'll show you how to create consistent character images. Whether it's 1, 2, or even 3 characters in a single image using the Flux model. And the best part is you only need to provide 1 photo per character. That's right, with just 1 photo per character, you can generate a whole series of images featuring that character. Pretty cool, right? Alright, let's dive in and see how it's done. Here's the simple image generation workflow using the Flux model in ComfyUI that I walked you through in previous videos. If you're not sure how to install ComfyUI or build this workflow, feel free to check out the earlier video linked in the description. Now, building on this workflow, we're going to make it even better so you can create images featuring specific characters. There are several ways to do this, but today I'm excited to share a method called PooLid Pure and Lightning Identity. What sets PooLid apart is that, unlike other methods that need a bunch of images to train each character, PooLid only needs 1 single input image, and it still gives you amazing results. If you want to dive deeper into how PooLid works, you can read more about it here. Alright, to get started with PooLid in ComfyUI, you'll need to set up a few things first. Open up the manager, go to Custom Node Manager, and look for the node ComfyUI Patches 2. Just hit Install when you find it. Then search for ComfyUI PooLid Flux 2 and install that one too. Once you've finished installing everything, go ahead and download the pre-trained PooLid Flux file, then place it in the spot I'll show you next. Oh, and the download link for the model? You'll find that in the description below. Alright, everything's set up. Now let's check if this workflow is running smoothly. Okay, it's working great. So, I've got a character photo like this one. How do I generate images of this specific character instead of just random ones? To make that happen, I'll bring in the Apply PooLid Flux node. This uses PooLid to tweak the sampling process in the Flux model. To wrap it up, we need to feed this node the right inputs. Here's what the node needs to get going. First off, we've got the model. We've already added the Flux diffusion model. Next up is PooLid Flux, which I'll bring in using the Load PooLid Flux model node. Eva Clip is the clip model we use to pull info from the character's image, and we'll hook that up with the Load Eva Clip node. Then there's face analysis. These are the models that grab facial details, and we'll plug them in with the Load Insight Face node. The image is simply the picture of the character we want. As for attention mask and options, those are optional inputs. I'll walk you through them later in the video. Alright, the workflow's done. Let's check out the results together. Wow, the workflow worked like a charm, don't you think? The generated image has a character whose face matches the photo I provided perfectly. The girl looks so natural, without even a hint of awkwardness. I'm going to try generating it again with a different random seed value to test how stable this workflow really is. The results are awesome. The face stays super consistent, but it looks like the outfit's repeating a bit. Let me tweak the prompt and see how it goes. Okay, I'll try putting our girl in a wedding dress this time. Hit run and let's see what we've got. Wow, isn't that amazing? Look at her. Our girl's rocking a gorgeous wedding dress, and her face is still perfectly consistent. The image quality is spot on too, so sharp and clear. Alright, so I've walked you through building a basic workflow to generate consistent character images from just one photo. Now, I'll show you a few handy tricks to help you make the most of this workflow and use it even more effectively. Let's head back to our example for a sec. The prompt is still, a beautiful woman is wearing a wedding dress. But now I'm going to try it with a different girl. I've got a photo of a girl posing next to a guy. Let's see how it turns out, shall we? Haha. Oh no. The guy in the photo ended up wearing the wedding dress. Pretty charming. Huh? I'll tweak the random seed and give it another shot, hoping the model gets it right this time. Bummer, the result's still the same. So, how do we tell PooLid which character we want to generate when the input photo has multiple people? Alright, this is where the optional input of the PooLid node comes in handy. We'll use the PooLid Flux options node to sort it out. This node has 3 parameters. The first one is input faces order. PooLid lets you set the face order, left to right, top to bottom, or even by size. I'll go with left to right since, in the photo, the girl's clearly on the left and the guy's on the right. Next up is input face index, which is the face order number. I'll set it to 0 because the girl is the first one from the left. And for face align mode, I'll keep it at 0 to lock in the exact face based on that order. All set now. Let's hook this node up to PooLid and see the results. Awesome. Now PooLid has generated the image I was hoping for. I've successfully changed the outfit for the girl in the photo. To make it even clearer for you, I'll run another example. This time, I'll set it to the guy by changing the face index to 1, since he's the second person from the left. There we go. Alright, so I've shown you how to pinpoint the exact character you want to generate using PooLid's input options. Now, let's move on to the next handy trick. Now that we've got the hang of generating consistent character images, let's spice things up with more varied scenarios by tweaking the prompt. For example, I want our bride's photo to look a bit more cheerful, so I'll add the smile token to the prompt. Let's hit run and check out the result. Oh, our girl still isn't smiling. She's still looking a bit standoffish. I'll give the random seed a tweak and hope the next run lines up better with the prompt. The results still look the same. In both attempts, our girl isn't smiling at all. This is a good example of how PooLid's output sometimes doesn't quite match the prompt we give it. So, how do we make the generated image align better with the prompt? The trick is to tweak the start at parameter in the PooLid node. This parameter controls the step where poo_lid starts influencing the Flux sampling process. The higher the start at value, the more the prompt takes effect. For this case, I'll set it to 0.4 and see how it goes. Boom! Yes, check it out. You see that? I finally got our character smiling like I wanted. Looking back at the 2 earlier attempts, the face stayed consistent, but this time the prompt matched perfectly. The only difference was that start at parameter. That said, when you tweak this, it's a good idea to experiment a bit to find the right value. While bumping up the start at number makes the prompt match better, it can trade off some of the face consistency between the generated image and the reference photo. So, you'll want to play around with it to strike a nice balance between the two. Next up, I'll show you how to remove the identity influence in poo_lid. For this example, I'm going to generate an image of our character alongside someone else. In the prompt, I'll toss in the keyword husband to bring in a guy. Let's see what happens. Did you notice that? The guy's face in the image has some weird similarity to our girl's face from the reference. I'll try switching up the random seed to generate a different image and see if this is just a random fluke or not. Nope, the result's still the same. Clearly, the man's face is still being influenced by our female character's face. This is a super common issue when using poo_lid. So how do we fix it? The answer lies in the attention mask parameter in the poo_lid node. This lets you limit the area where poo_lid's model has an effect. To make it easier to picture, I'll load up a mask I've prepared so you can see it in action. In the mask, there are 2 areas, white and black. The white area is where I'll tell poo_lid to do its thing, while the black area is where Flux can run free without any influence from poo_lid. Let's check out the results once we plug this attention mask into the node. It's working. The guy's face looks normal now. No more weird resemblance to the face we fed into poo_lid. I'll generate another image too, just to check how stable this fix is. Awesome! The other character's face is totally stable now. You can see the variety in each generation when we use the attention mask. Plus, it's nailing the positioning too. Our girl stays on the left side of the image, just like in the mask we provided. Alright, so I've walked you through how to control the main character in the picture using poo_lid. Now, the question is, can we also control the supporting characters instead of letting Flux generate them randomly? And the answer is absolutely yes. Let's dive into the final trick together. Okay, now I'll guide you through something I'm sure a lot of people are curious about. How to consistently control multiple characters in the same picture. The idea is pretty similar to the trick we just went over, but this time we'll add info for another character into the black area instead of letting the Flux model generate it randomly. That means we'll be using an additional poo_lid model here. To keep things quick, I'll just copy all the components of the poo_lid we've already defined for the new character. For now, I'll group it together so it's easier for everyone to follow. I'm calling this one poo_lid1, and we'll copy it over to make poo_lid2. Let's tweak things a bit to make it easier to follow. So, let's pick the character images we want again. Alright, the man will go in Poo Lid 2, and the woman will be in Poo Lid 1. Now, I'll need to tweak the workflow to include Poo Lid 2 in the sampling process. We'll connect the two Pulids together and feed them back into the sampling node. In the end, the Flux model will link up with Poo Lid 1 for the female character's details and with Poo Lid 2 for the male character's details, then send it all into the sampling process. One thing to note here, I'll use the invert mask node to shift the white area to the right so the two characters' info doesn't clash with each other. Alright, that's it. We've finished the workflow. Now, let's hit run and check out the results together. Boom. Awesome. The idea has been successfully brought to life. See? Both characters were generated exactly in line with the input we provided. Just like before, I'm going to try generating them again to check how stable the workflow is. Yeah, this version looks even better. The two characters look supernatural and still match the prompt perfectly. So there we have it, the workflow has been set up successfully. Alright, so I've guided you through how to keep one or more characters consistent across multiple pictures using Flux. I hope you've checked out all the tricks I've shared so you can make the most of this workflow. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe to catch my latest tutorials on AI models. Drop a comment below if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover. See you later. Goodbye.